crazy room in there that don't nobody go in and just. I'm like, who the fuck you think gonna see this shit?
That's what I was saying, Chef. That nigga was in the Mid Journey YouTube video room. That's not even a goddamn communication thread room. That shit was hilarious. So nobody, that shit's for just for dropping goddamn YouTube videos. That's what that's for.
Yeah, I'm like, this nigga retarded. He definitely don't got no degree. I'm like, this nigga definitely ain't got no goddamn degree. They don't even know where he talking shit at.
But what is the contention though? Like I said, it don't really. I left that Discord months ago. I didn't even know you in here so much. I didn't even know Discord was still up. That's some fly shit you got going.
I'm about to rant that motherfucker.
This got a whole Discord just running. That's the coolest shit in the world. So what? So what did he say to him? What is the contention between them two? Like what was the? Why did it have to make it to a fucking show? So we put up a video of that saying that. That's of Corey saying what exactly?
I think one of them videos that you posted, Corey and Unc was arguing. And I think Corey said, you over there with a bunch of dick sucking ass, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And Unc was like, man, I don't be around no dick sucking. You dig what I'm saying? Blase, blase. So I guess when they heard that, they went up in arms about it.
Yeah, Black Egypt is more fun. Black Egypt is definitely more fun than this. Corey gotta know. Well, not well. Yeah.
Oh, y'all calling? So y'all was recording that?
Yeah.
I didn't know y'all was recording that. Well, I'm the one who said it. I never said Cedric was a dick sucker. I just said it's some dick suckers over there, and Unc was the one who named Cedric. Unc was like, who you talking about, Cedric? It wasn't me. They're like, how do he automatically know who the dick sucker is? Obviously, he's a dick sucker, right? Like, I never provoked him to say Cedric's name. All I said was, it's some dick suckers over there. The first thing that came to Brother Unc's name, his friend, this Unc is his best friend, and the guy that he killed, right? His friend named him first. Now, if they say, oh, it's a bunch of dick suckers over there on that Discord, you think I'm gonna say who? Who you talking about, Shepard? Let me ask you, Shepard.
I'm sorry, bro.
Big suckers on that Discord. And then I said, Shepard? Who would you be mad at? Would you be mad at me or Unc?
I'll be mad at you. Like, what would make my name come first? You feel what you think about me? Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh my God, boy.
You know you hear a flip and you just don't think that that's how the flip gonna go. That's some funny shit.
Oh God, that is so fucking. Because I do remember now. That's exactly how the fuck it went.
Hey, I don't know how the fuck it went. I probably was. Listen, that's the beauty. That's the funny shit about these Discords. I don't know who be in front of their computers, this, that, and the other. I don't remember this conversation. But I will say this. We don't. I guess Cedric and I don't know. Was y'all cool when you was in the Discord, Corey? Or was Cedric in the Discord when y'all was there?
Yeah, they was cool.
So then the shit didn't let that shit ride then. That shit over with. So then if they was cool then, when did they have a problem?
When every time there was a disagreement, it was like, it's crazy. Like, you can't even get me to. It seemed like every position, you dig what I'm saying, Unc would take even when he was wrong. You dig what I'm saying, or sketchy on it. you know, Cedric and them would be lockstep, you know, in line with what Unc was saying. And then when Unc would recant or change his stance, they would change it with like, you feel me? Like, how the fuck does that work? So y'all not coming to your own conclusions about this shit. You feel me? Like, y'all going with what y'all saying,
That's what Dick
arguing.
Riders do, Chef.
Yeah,
You
y'all
explain to Dick Riders.
arguing his points when his shit ain't even solid. You feel me? Like, what the fuck? Like, it's like if I have a position and now these niggas is trying to support my position without having their own, you know what I mean? Like, how do you do that? Like, if when Corey said they was some Levi niggas, I didn't go with that shit. And I had to look this shit up. I don't know what the fuck going on. You feel me? Like, I ain't going with that shit. Then I looked it up. And, you know, it's still kind of sketchy because it's called the Greater Levant. You dig what I'm saying? But it's not particularly known as the Levant, but it's called the Greater Levant. By some people. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not going to argue with Corey, but I understand what he was saying. He was being hyperbolic. You dig what I'm saying? Like, yo, y'all on some other nigga shit from the Middle East. That's what he was saying. Motherfuckers ain't even from Mag, you know what I mean? So, you know, that's their fighting style. Well, it was. I don't know. I don't know what they doing now. They got me blocked over there, so I don't know what's going on. I'm blocked on both channels. Like,
hey, I'll be right back. Hey, you blocked on Chameleon Skeptics too?
Yeah. I'm blocked. I don't even know if he know though. One of them other mods blocked me or something. I've been blocked for about 6 months.
Damn.
At a certain point, though, the allegation of it being a cult start to kind of fit. You know what I'm saying? It start to fit so well. How you even get mad? Like, I know you might not agree, but like the shit right there, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a hive mind or some shit. That shit kind of crazy, bro. And the being over there, I ain't never see it like that. But you gotta leave so you gotta distance yourself from the crowd so you can see how that shit look and do look crazy.
And Unc explained it because it's really not his fault. Like he said, most of them came into the community because of him.
Because of him. Yeah.
You feel me? So, you know, it's almost like they don't really know that they doing it. They just want to be on that team. You dig what I'm saying? Because they were so used to seeing him. You dig what I'm saying? So, you know, you start off as a fan until you know what I mean? But then you got to grow your own legs at some point. You feel me?
Yeah, I
Gotta,
don't know if I necessarily blame him. I don't think he did it on purpose, but he
nah.
does sit square in the middle of one, right? Like, because you know what's crazy? After that conversation, I kid you not, he actually called me. And I told him straight in on the phone, I was like, bro, fucking right. You know, of course, I elaborated a little bit more. Like, you got a couple more of them around you. I wouldn't say it the way Corey said, but yeah, nigga, we all look at it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up. Like, just straight up told him, you got some yes men over there, a gang of them. Like, you honestly sit up here and believe that you think Gideon know what the hell you talking about, bro? Like, be for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, in all seriousness.
Yeah, that's a. I don't even know who over there. I mean, just the ones that go live. Now, Juju will push back. You know what I mean? So, you know, but I don't think she'd be too invested in those conversations. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that ain't her forte. She don't give a shit about that Egypt shit. So she not even really gonna get into it.
Yeah, I mean, personally, me, that was the person that I personally said I think is she's a good friend and a rider, but bro, like, she can't do no more than just remember what you said, So you 5 years into a conversation talking about we ain't reading it, and you got people in your own camp right around you who ain't, even invested in the conversation. So you got a bunch of parrots, right? Like, I don't know how you really see them as anything different when that's all they do.
Yeah, but
It's
see
very
now,
clear that Sosa can pull from other things that he's either looking at or just to win over at some point in time, but it ain't just repeating what Unc said. Like, you know what I'm saying? It definitely is better.
nah, I think far as wise, with that, the whole reading thing, that's gonna be a good one. We didn't kill so many people on that talking point. You dig what I'm saying? Like we didn't kill
What talking point?
on that. We not reading the material. That's like you don't want to die on that. You dig what I'm saying? On that hill, right? It's like you seen the playbook. You know that ain't a good playbook because if we ain't reading and we write, then what does that say? We didn't kill so many people on that. Like Asar and them tried that shit with us. Like, yeah, we not reading that shit. You feel me? Like, because it's already the academia done already said what the fuck it was. So we ain't got to read no 600-page book. You know what I mean? Just to get the nooks and crannies of them fucking being wrong. Fuck out of here. You feel me? We didn't kill niggas on that shit. So
I think that was go ahead.
yeah, so I don't want Unc to keep doubling down on that, like because I don't want you to go out like that. You think what I'm saying? The story is already out on the out. Like,
How do you say some shit like that and keep going?
yeah, like don't
Nigga said,
go
I
out
don't
on
want
that.
you to die like that. Don't die like that. Now,
Yeah,
you can die, but definitely don't die. That ain't how I want you to die.
that ain't how I want you to go out. Cause we done took niggas out for that, yo. Like Sean and them of the Mossy, they screamed for months about how these dudes don't read. They ain't doing it. Nigga, we ain't reading none of that shit. That's a superpower. You
You fucking with my gifts, nigga.
Yeah, that's a superpower. If I start reading all those 600-page books, and I might get confused like you. That's why you fucked up. You reading some shit you ain't supposed to be reading. It ain't suited for your education, nigga. So you fucking that shit up. Read the summary. Read the conclusion. That's what.
Nah, I think it was cool when y'all was talking the other day about the Cairo Symposium. I think it's convenient to miss while you're talking about how prepared dude was and how he was so ahead of his time and this, that, and the other. You'll fuck around and forget that he was wrong. So then you'll be lauding all this class participation bullshit. But oh yeah, man, you're a sharp nigga. What you're saying is bullshit, but we get it. Like, we get what you're saying. So if he was actually wrong, then you can do that. Like when we had these conversations, I tell y'all, I'm not reading everything and I'm not watching every video. Because for people, I hear the term, it's always tossed around, cognitive dissonance and confirmation bias. When you watch a video, you damn well gonna get out of it whatever the hell you was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
That's something you can. That's how. What is it? You know, when your parents tell you, go in the refrigerator and get the ketchup, and you don't want to do the shit in the first place, you won't see ketchup. That's how crazy your brain is. That should be sitting right there in front of you, like. And then
I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
They're gonna beat the
Smack you all in your head.
What's your grandmother say? If it was a snake, it'd bitch you.
Snake it with a bitch.
So we already know that if I don't want to do the shit, if that's the case. That's like when Unc sent that video the other day. Whatever point Unc was trying to make with what he sent,
The only thing I heard, because that's my cognitive dissonance in this conversation, which I think is actually helping me. But my cognitive dissonance in this situation is you just made it worse. Now you telling me some shit I didn't know. I didn't know motherfucking she was listening to her heart that was taking her to meetings. I didn't know Neely Fuller was a fucking security guard. I didn't know all of that shit. I didn't know. But when she
I only had a gun. Look, I only had a gun. You didn't gave me a bazooka.
Yeah. And the funny shit is, Sosa kept saying to me, he was like, "You're missing the point. You're not getting what I was trying to say. You're right. Fuck your point." Now, at first, I was giving her the respect of her being a doctor and psychiatrist. Now I gotta listen to the goddamn, she was sitting somewhere and listened to her heart and heard from across. This sounds like a love story now. She heard from across the room, somebody said race is a system, and she got all fucking excited to deal with a motherfucker that was functionally illiterate and all this other shit. Now the shit now is starting to make more sense. Because I'm going to tell you, when we first started talking about Frances Cress Welsing, the shit didn't actually make sense because she was a person with an actual doctorate. I'm used to all these autodidacts and self-taught motherfuckers.
On the fence.
Yeah, she actually has a fucking doctorate. What the fuck? I'm fucking this up. But then when she started talking about listening to her heart and something in her soul, and then you find out
she wasn't even using her expertise at no.
Yeah, she wasn't using her brain. She was thinking with the little brain. So now that shit starts to make sense. So yeah, I've come to realize since we've been doing these conversations, one, I'm listening back to some of these tapes. We, and I'll throw myself in there too, cut Said Breeze off way too much. Said be trying to get his shit off. I don't know if he's in here. No, I don't think he's in here. Nah, Said be trying to get his shit off, and we cut that nigga off every time he starts talking. So that shit we gotta stop doing that. Two, motherfucking, I'm starting to realize that niggas just hate. This is why
you gotta put his big boy voice on, Brad. That ain't our fault.
Hey, listen, it ain't for me to defend. I'm glad he wasn't here when I said it. He'll hear it on the live. At least he know where I stand. Put your big boy pants on to cut these niggas off. But what I'm starting to realize, Corey, is niggas just hate the pseudos, and I don't mean just the pseudo killers. I'm talking about the whole community. They just hate they just kill the pseudos they hate. They don't kill the pseudos. They just kill the ones that they hate. They love Frances Cress Welsing, so they can't do it. They have a blindness when you see John Henry Clark wrote the Iceman Inheritance. In real life, if somebody was to do that, you'd be like, oh, that nigga's a weirdo, no matter what the fuck else he do. So yeah, so it ain't just them, it's the whole community. I'm glad we doing the content from this state because the whole community is on some weirdo shit. The whole community just kills the pseudos they don't like. And the ones they like, they make excuses for them. I heard niggas talk about Jabari talking to mummies for like 2-3 months. This nigga went to the museum and he heard mummies and shit. But now I got it. But then when I tell you Frances Cress Welsing heard a voice that led her to Neely Fuller, ain't nothing wrong with that. So yeah, so it's a little. I don't know.
We interviewing Jabari too, yo. You know what I mean? That's gonna be one of our first. You know what I mean?
Let's get it done.
Yeah.
Just tell him.
You set it up.
Yeah, I'm setting it up. I texted him last week, but I didn't know he was on his honeymoon.
And that shit Chris said about his motherfucking wedding. See, that's what I mean. Like, niggas be wanting shit to be on limits and off limits. And then you talk like when y'all send me clips, I'll go watch it. I'm gonna tell y'all now, I hate when y'all put other niggas' shows in the Discord. Not because I don't want you to promote it, but then that's the only way I know that it's going on. So if Chris is the same nigga that did that Chinese food shit with that doctor, and then got on live, started talking about Jabari wedding and shit. Some shit ain't funny. And then niggas gonna tell us we talking crazy, but or you let that nigga say such and such, or you let this nigga disrespect that nigga's wedding live. Y'all ignorant, see, it go both ways. You don't talk about no nigga wedding. You don't know her. You don't know him. You don't know what he going through.
Yeah, that don't make no sense. Especially when you just disagree over information.
Yeah, that's why I checked Chief X on that shit. Why you talking about his wedding for? That shit corny, bro. He in love. It looked weird. We get it, but I'm saying like that's his. Our Chinese weddings look crazy. If you ever been to a bar mitzvah, some of that shit look crazy. All traditional kind of shit look crazy to you.
Yeah, I ain't even. Matter of fact, I'm gonna ask him like, yo, we ain't even gonna bring up your wedding or none of that.
Yeah, we don't should be.
I'm like, well, I don't give a fuck about that. Congratulations. But you probably don't even want to talk about that shit because you just divorced your other wife. Like, the wedding price still open. You feel me?
Yeah, that's some crazy shit to find out. You talking about such and such. I remember, like, if it's a muddy conversation, then it's just a muddy conversation, and that's where you at. But if you just saying off kilter shit, that's why it'd be funny when niggas be like, like Chief X will say, shout out to Chief. I'm about to give you some rebuke live. Well, not live, recorded. He'll say stuff like, yo, he never shows his face, or like somebody, whoever that is, like a person you're talking to that don't never show their face. I would never show my face in this community. Well, I'll show my face, but I won't show my kids and family and shit like that. Unless I'm slipping, I might show my son playing football or something like that, but that's about it. I'm not letting y'all niggas onto my Instagram and all kind of shit, because y'all niggas, when the intellectual bullets run out, that's where y'all go. Yeah. Can't hurt him. He's untouchable. Let me go fuck with his wife. Let me see what his wife look like or some shit like that. I seen how niggas play. So yeah, I ain't doing that.
Yeah, they play with personal shit too much.
Yeah. And now I see where all the anger be, why you be ready to kill niggas. Niggas be threatening people, punch niggas in the face, and I'm gonna beat your old ass up and all kind of wild ass shit. That shit crazy. We on the internet. Ain't no reason to threaten nobody physically on the internet. There's nothing you could do to them. And this ain't fucking
a couple states away from each other.
Yeah, y'all never gonna run into each other. And if y'all do, trust me, it's gonna be peaceful.
Right. Because I'm not going all the way to California to fight. I got niggas right here that can piss me off. If I really wanted to fight, I can fight right here. I own so many niggas spades on my block. So how the fuck am I gonna make it all the way to Cali to give out a fade when I'm 3 fades in a hole on my own block?
No, hey, Chef, not only did niggas say they were going to do it, it's niggas that claim that they've done that shit before. That's the nuttiest fucking shit I've ever heard of in my life. Oh, my God. You're traveling to it. Nigga, I ain't traveling 5 minutes to fight a nigga. If you ain't in front of my face, then I ain't like, hey, don't be doing that talking shit over the phone and we go like, no, the fuck I ain't doing none of that shit, bro.
All that shit is funny.
Me and my girl share the same bed, Vermin. She owed me a fair one.
I'm like 3 fights in a hole with my wife, nigga. I'm looking for me.
That's why you
looking. Every now and then I wake up, I know she done cleaned up one of them fades, nigga, while I was asleep. I know she done cleaned up one of them shit.
See, Chef, that's why your wild ass is on that T-app. It's just crazy shit you be saying.
Look, I done got some more information about that. They said I got, what they say I got now? I got 2 sons that I don't take care of.
Oh, Lord.
This app is crazy.
Wait, what the fuck y'all talking about?
They got these.
What are you talking
they got these apps out there where they put like on like women, they can do dating history like like a warning to other females.
Wait a minute.
Leave this
Yeah.
nigga alone.
This some real shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And
girl,
only
don't
females
fuck
can look
with
at
him.
it.
Yeah, don't fuck with him. He a womanizer. This, that, and the third. Oh, it's crazy. I'm on one of them motherfuckers.
I know I'm on that bitch,
How
Chef.
the fuck
I
did you
am
find out you was on
guaranteed
that
to be
shit?
on that.
How the fuck did you find out you was on that shit?
Nigga, everybody started texting me and calling me.
That's the funniest shit in the
That's
world.
funny as
Oh
fuck.
my god, bro. I swear to God, if somebody called me with some shit like that, nigga. Damn, niggas got an app. Oh man, they don't focus on stuff. I'm glad that shit wasn't out when I wasn't married, nigga. I might still be on there from old beef.
Shit called me a woman beater and all. I said, God damn.
I guarantee I'm on that bitch. Ain't nobody, just ain't nobody gonna tell me. Hey, at least you got somebody to call you and give you a warning. I know I'm on that bitch. Ain't
Is it one app like Instagram or something, or is it just a bunch of different?
It's related to the shade room, right?
Yeah, this one called the T app. So they got one like for every city, like major city there. You know what I mean? But only females can get on it.
Oh no, wait. Okay, now I gotta cut you though, Chef. Well, I gotta cut you. So remember we was talking about females back in the day, and I told you a woman scorned to say anything. And you said, nah, if she say that shit, it's true. Remember we was talking about nah. Yeah. It ain't no fun when it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Cause I distinctly remember you telling me that if I said
no, because hold on.
I said that.
No, this is anonymous though. So
you mean she ain't putting no name to it? Oh,
yeah,
this would be a nigga.
Yeah, you don't know who the fuck did that shit. You feel me?
Oh, this could be a nigga. So instead of somebody saying they're gonna beat the dog shit out you, they just post some shit on the T app. Let me go look. Let me go see what they done put up there about Corey. Nigga, Corey a woman beater, bro. Straight up.
Man, that shit crazy. Sid said he on his in California. He made that motherfucker too.
What'd you say?
Sid said he made his in California. He made that T-app called don'tdateemgirl.com.
I thought Sid was in St. Martin somewhere.
No, LA, I think.
Hold on.
Yeah,
you talking about Sid Breeze.
Yeah,
me fucked up for a second. I'm like, why the fuck is Sid on an app in California?
Oh, you talking about the other Sid?
Yeah, you talking about Sid Breeze. I'm like, that shit kind of, I
knew who you was talking about.
Reboot my mainframe for half a second. What the fuck? What are we?
I knew who he was talking about. I was laughing that you didn't. You thought
no,
it was
when y'all just say Sid, I call him Sid Breeze. I don't really I don't call him Sid. I call him Sid Breeze. Well, I just do it for my own reasons. But yeah, that's kind of lame. That's kind of lame.
Yeah, I've been getting phone calls forever on that shit. That shit's so funny.
Hey, DQ in here?
Yeah.
DQ and Smalls, which one of y'all want Mujasi's team?
Man, y'all gonna make me jump in this motherfucker, yo.
Well, somebody got to do it. I want to put the date out today. The date for the draft out today, so one of y'all got to do it.
Mujasi packed up?
No, he never was. I misunderstood. Yeah, he just sponsored. I thought he was sponsoring if we needed one, but he's just sponsoring, period. So we need somebody to, he's sponsoring somebody else to play.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah, man. I mean, if DQ don't want it, I'll go ahead and take it, bro.
All right.
My mind is finally feeling a little bit better, so I know I'm probably still gonna get my ass whooped, but I'm trying.
Well, here's a good. You know the cool thing about fantasy? You never
Yeah.
really take it personal because the only way your team lose is if some nigga play bad. It ain't really got nothing to do with you.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
you
yeah.
find the wrong combination. But
Yeah,
it is what it is.
that's what I'm more worried about. I just don't remember how to do this shit. But
You know what I was you know what I was gonna say too? We should have because Sid said he'll sponsor a team and I'll sponsor one, but I want to sponsor an AI team. And I know that sounds just hear me out before I finish. Or if y'all understand what I'm saying, say that. Like a team that we just put their roster in fucking AI and they tell us who to play. And see if we could beat that motherfucker.
right.
What y'all think about that?
I think that'd be kind of dope.
The dumbest shit I ever heard.
Oh
I
god.
don't know what this is.
Niggas using AI to sponsor a team. We in dangerous times, boy. God damn.
We are in danger. I hate to say it. I can't even disagree with you on that one. But I'm saying, don't you think it'd be interesting to see, just to see, like, if that motherfucker could beat us? For real. To be real.
I don't even know how to play fantasy.
No, I mean, it's up to y'all. Y'all in the league. I can't make no executive decision. That's something that'd be interesting to me. That's just be interesting to me. I don't know. If it ain't interesting to y'all, we could just move on.
I mean, this
nigga just went off mute to tell me that's the dumbest shit I ever heard. What? I hate that nigga. See, and logic, that's why I hate that nigga. This nigga got off mute to say, you know what, Brass? Fuck you. And laugh. Oh, shit. That nigga funny.
I'm starting to think Fetty just be trolling now.
Nah, I think that nigga's an actual diabolical hater, my nigga.
He really
he a real hater, bro. Not for real. I'm telling you. Listen,
that nigga like Mojo Jojo in real life and some shit.
Nah, he really be that mad. I just can't imagine being that mad all the time. Like that, just being fucked up.
Yeah, I just can't imagine
How can you be that mad all the time? Just always.
I can't imagine carrying that all the time.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, like that. That's the part. I mean, he gonna say he don't carry it, but bro, he woke up this morning going absolutely ape shit on niggas for nothing. Like for Egypt. And I done sat here and heard this nigga talk about Egypt countless times. He killing niggas. Why y'all always talk about Egypt, nigga? What's wrong with you niggas? I done heard him participate in that same conversation 5,000 goddamn times.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a part of the fucking Egypt concept. He gets in there and talks to genetic shit with niggas and all that. So I can't believe he even said that. Motherfucking population migration, goddamn this, that, and the other. Like, you more invested in.
Bro, if you go to a random Starbucks, now this is what I thought. He said I fucked it up, but I think he lied. But if you go to a random Starbucks logic, let's just say you go to Starbucks today, and before you leave, a nigga hands you a book about back migrations. Don't you think you probably going too far with this Egyptian conversation, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't you think at some point, like, if random niggas, now this is what I thought. He said it was a family member, but I think I don't know. But that's all I was trying to say was, if you just going somewhere and somebody hands you a book about, like, if somebody handed me a book about, I don't know.
Oh, here we go. You talking about me, ain't you?
It wasn't back migration.
I knew it. I said I knew. I bet I go back in this.
Yeah, you just said I got to come back in here and cuss him out. That's what you said. That was just. You said I knew y'all was talking.
I knew it. I knew it.
Cuss me out. That's what it was. But hold on. Let us finish saying it. Then you can say what you want. What'd you say, Chef?
It wasn't about back migrations. It was about the Great Migration.
Great Migration.
The north, the south north migration. I mean, people moving from
Reconstruction.
Rural, moving from the rural south into the industrial north.
Okay. So when he said it, he said Starbucks. So in my mind, he's right to say I made an over assumption. When he said it, I pictured a white man handing me a book about the migration system. This is no bullshit. I'm being dead serious, bro. So I'm thinking in my head, like, if I was ever at a Starbucks and a white man handed me a book about fucking migrations from the south to the north, I actually would probably be offended, bro. Because he either done over like first he's a stranger and he don't know me. He think this is some shit I'd be interested in, or he done heard me in these voice chats or some shit while I'm sipping my Starbucks, and he thinks that or maybe I'm talking about the shit too much. So that wasn't nothing personal towards the Fedster. That's I'm trying to be nice. You gonna come in cussing me out. I'm trying to make a joke and whatever. But I'm saying, like, I'm thinking.
I mean, you was wrong. So I mean, yeah, you was wrong. So you just admitted that you assumed.
Yeah, I said I
guess the fake narrative sounds better than the actual truth. So
you use fake narrative incorrectly.
You do. You again, bro. You know what you trying to do by even wording it like that, bro. Like you try again. You try.
Address that.
Let me go now. You just went. You just.
We're not playing tennis, nigga.
I'm saying, how the fuck you the nigga that get offended or upset when a nigga correct you, and then you proceed. It's like you proceed to, I guess, and I guess this is a fighting style again. You know, that's very. It's very conscious community-ish. It's very you have a conscious community.
Before he go on, does anybody know what
when a nigga corner you with facts and correct you, you be the main nigga that be complaining about, yo, you shouldn't be doing this, talking about, he's doing this and that. But in reality, when a nigga corner you with facts, bro, you go to the name calling and you go off a disrespectful tangent. So it's like it's interesting hearing you preach one thing and then when the nigga cook you with facts, you do another thing. When I ask you a simple question, hold on.
We talking about a book.
When I ask you a question, hold on, let me finish.
No, I want to know
you a question. When I asked you a question, right, regarding Catherine Page Harding, and we was cool, like we was serious. It was a cordial conversation. You called me a bitch ass nigga. You was like, this bitch. I'm like, yo,
I don't know what we're talking about right now.
When a nigga corner you with that, you go with the lie.
No, I'm just saying, you're talking about facts and narrative. Hold on. Just hold on. You can get your shit off. I just want to participate. You can get your shit off. Bro, you're not going to be able to.
I thought you was done.
No, I didn't even start. I'm saying, before you get started going, cool. But I'm talking about a book, someone handing you a book in Starbucks. What are you talking about? Because you're talking about facts and narrative. I'm not talking about
what you're again. Can I answer? Can I answer?
Okay, go ahead.
When I wasn't thinking that you was making a joke. I'm saying, bro, this is what happened. And then you acted using a fake outrage, like, yo, I wouldn't be doing that. I wouldn't be going to that Starbucks. I'm like, bro, hold on. You know a stranger. The picture that you got in your mind isn't. How you gonna tell me go and then you cut me off?
No. Hold on. We're having a discourse. This ain't a you go, I go. We're having a discourse.
Let me finish though. Let me land my plane.
I wanna make a statement, and then we'll go back and forth, bro. We don't gotta we're not in the middle of the street. We're just talking to each other. Do you know what I said was a joke? Do you know when I said that's not a Starbucks I would go to? How do you create a fake narrative by making a joke? I was trying to change the narrative.
I was very again. You can go back and read what I put, bruh. It's like go back and read what I put. I was very descriptive as to what I meant by these fake narratives. Because I was already talking to what's the dude? That good guy and the other.
You was arguing with them niggas. I was making a joke.
Let me finish, bro. I'm saying I wasn't even trying to cast an aspersion on you. I'm saying I was talking to them too, and they had this rhetoric. Oh, you a coon, you this, you that, you racist, all that, right? Coon, so I'm saying, bro, I got you. I got you. I'm saying,
yeah, but don't say because they're gonna think I called you a coon. I didn't call you no coon. Okay,
I got you. I never said that you called me a coon. I'm saying that rhetoric. I feel like I try to correct those false narratives of, hey, a white person gave you that, And it's basically like I think with this a lot of this bell curve information and stuff like that. I think you tried to make a joke by lumping into it like, oh, you basically got that book from a white man, and I feel offended. That was your whole premise. You know what I
No,
mean? And I'm like,
I
hold
didn't
on,
say
bro.
white
Like,
man in the comment. I just said I wouldn't go back to
but
that.
I knew. But hold on, Brett. I got you. I knew that's what you was assuming. That's why I'm like, don't jump the gun. That's why I'm
You
like, when you
assumed what I was assuming.
you proved me correct, bro.
No. Listen,
Just
I
prove me
understand that,
correct.
but you just said you just blamed me for assuming you, and then you did okay. It was
that's the only logical conclusion you can make
okay,
if you feel offended that a person gives you a book dealing with the Great Migration.
Everybody else is broke, bro. Everybody else here don't got it.
I ain't even get to land my plan, but you got it. I ain't tripping. I just try to correct.
No, yeah,
certain shit. That's all. I ain't tripping. And you the nigga, and it's so crazy. You the nigga who came
You
in
just
like, yo,
said
I
you
got
ain't
smoked
tripping.
today.
Don't prove
I
that
got
you are.
smoked today. You the nigga who was hella disrespectful.
Don't prove that you are. You just said you ain't tripping, and I believed you.
I'm trying to tell you because you do a lot of preaching, trying to tell other people what I'm saying. You do a lot of that same shit. You be looking for like it's like you'll look for a problem. Then when the nigga try to bring some, I guess. Like again, I felt like I was very rational in this convo. I didn't say anything too crazy. And you be rage baiting, bro. Just admit that you be rage baiting.
No, you just got a lot of rage.
Ah, that's crazy, bro. You get offended by everything, and then that's crazy. See, there go the victim. There we go. No accountability, man. No accountability.
No,
you know what you be doing, bro. You and Sosa admitted that you be rage baiting.
You know when I made that,
admitted it.
You know when I made that joke this morning? Hold on. You know when I made that joke this morning, right? I made the joke this morning about you. What up, said Bree? When I made that joke this morning about whatever, let me just give you a idea of how long you had been arguing with niggas in the Discord about Egypt. Just give me a second. It's gonna take a while.
The goalpost. You real good. You real good with it. You about to avoid everything I just said.
No, I'm not. I just want to tell you why I made the joke. You and that good guy have been arguing about Egypt in here since. Now, mind you, I'm still scrolling, bro. I'm still scrolling while I'm talking to you. You and him been arguing about Egypt since.
It wasn't that long, bro. I went to the warehouse this morning at like 6:30. It wasn't that. You acting like niggas was talking for 3-4 hours.
Y'all been arguing about Egypt since 8 o'clock, since 7:48 this morning.
Not since, because it ended at like 9 o'clock.
Don't act like this morning. No. I'm saying, so this has gone on back and forth.
What point is that proving?
No. My point was I tried to make a joke to change the narrative, like that narrative, like to kind of lighten the mood, because I wanted to do a live today.
Okay, I got
you. That's what I'm trying to say. I wanted to do a live, so I don't feel like arguing. If you say I rage bait, I probably do. So let me just fall on my sword. I rage bait and all of that. One thing I know I'm not, though, is when you call a nigga a Karen, a grown black man a Karen, I might take offense to that. And then if you follow it up by calling a nigga a victim, I might take offense to that. I might, depending on the time. I don't call grown niggas Karen. Does anybody else in this Discord call other black men Karens? I'm just asking. Because from what I understand, is a Karen is a fucking emotional white woman.
If you don't see the parallel, again, I sent
hate when niggas
hold on,
call you
I got you. Look, let's find common ground. I ain't trying to argue. Let's find common ground. Okay, let's find common ground. The reason why I said Karen, was a way because I'm like, there's no way you're gonna find outrage in me sending a book to Sheffrin saying that I'm gonna read this and somebody recommended it to me. That's why I called you a Karen, because the way I thought that you tried to twist it up and create an argument based off you feeling outraged and making an assumption. That's why I called you a Karen. And again, if you took offense to that, apologies. But I'm like, yo, why you? Because again, when I tried to get clarity, when I tried to give you clarity, you the nigga who said, yo, I woke up on time in the day. I want smoked. I'm like, hold on. Like,
you know, it's funny because then I told them, because y'all niggas, I was actually kind of irritated with y'all niggas. I forgot to put do not disturb on my. Hold on, I forgot to put do not disturb on my phone, and I woke up to you and that good guy arguing about Egypt, and you that good guy in Sadiq.
All right.
When I would say I woke up on that kind of time, I woke up.
These niggas every day, bro. Every day, these niggas been talking about shit.
I
This is
know,
my first time even chatting with a nigga in the morning. I
normally have it on do not disturb,
I
so I
got
don't
you.
get to hear that. That's what I'm trying to say. Like I was
I got you.
I was doing that. So, but yeah, that shit's
Oh,
don't
yeah,
ever.
we good
I
then.
said,
Shit, I'm
don't
thinking you
ever. I
wanted
said,
smoke out of
no, I
nowhere.
said
I'm
that
like,
out in the argument. Hold on. Don't ever in your life go back to that Starbucks. Thank me later. That was a joke. How you
but you
get
then
beef out of that?
proceeded to say you then proceeded. Come on.
No, you said you got it out of that comment. You said you got it out of the original
No,
comment.
I didn't mean to say that original comment. When you further elaborated, like, yo, you got it from I should feel offended and all of that. It's like, okay, you really took it there. When I did, like, really, bro, like that's why I'm like the whole outrage thing, like finding outrage in any small thing. And my bad to change the goalpost a little bit. The reason why I use the Karen fake outrage thing, because I actually I watched y'all watched the joint on Psycho Show the other day with Mark Lamont Hill and the whole gene controversy, American Eagle and all of that, and how some people felt offended that they said the girl got good genes or something like that. Did y'all see that?
No, what's in there? What's the story?
Oh, it's I saw Mark Lamont Hill. I think what is it, the Pierre Morgan? Is that what it's called? Piers Morgan show or whatever. Piers Morgan show, and he was on a joint with two other people, and they were talking about how American Eagle is facing backlash because one of the, I guess, models or whatever in the ad, they said something about her having good genes or something like that, and it turned into a outrage conversation of Mark Lamont Hill defending. I forgot exactly what it was, but when I heard Mark Lamont Hill talking on Psycho Show when he pulled up the clip, I'm like, ooh, that I see what he's saying, but I do get the
you
other
talking
side.
about Sydney Sweeney?
Sweeney, yeah.
This is
yeah.
true. This is
the James
yeah. I seen this
That
because
was
Trump.
an
I think
interesting
they blew it
conversation.
up bigger than it had to be, but I think Martin Lamont Hill had a good point. But
He had a good point.
What is the controversy? What's the controversy though? What's the controversy? What is the actual?
It shouldn't be no controversy, but the controversy is the fact that she used genes in two different ways, like genetic genes and like the genes that she wears. And she talked about how people want her genes and how she got the good genes, this, that, and the other. Really, she was talking about giving that pussy out. Really, I mean, that's really what it was all about. But like, my brother got all offended. I mean, I ain't mad. I can see how somebody could take it away. You know what I mean? You know, seeing as historically what Black people went through. But I wouldn't even. I think they made more out of it than it should have been, and now it's now they gonna.
And Corey, you heard what the white girl
more.
was saying. Like the white girl was basically saying that was rebuttaling Mark Lamont Hill. She was like, I feel you, but every circumstance doesn't require like this left or right opinion to where you gotta just, like you said, like Mark Lamont Hill made good points, but it wasn't really warranted for that particular situation. So it's people saying like, yo, we can't even talk about simple shit without a person feeling like they have to defend something on the opposite side. You know what I mean?
Everybody running around trying to find a reason for their pussy to hurt. You know what I mean?
But no, but that's the reason why he was on there.
I see Mark Lamont Hill. I see his perspective.
What's the issue?
But that's what Piers Morgan show do. They bring people on there to have opposing opinions. I don't think Mark Lamont Hill cares about. He would have this if he was in this conversation, he would be agreeing with y'all. Like, yeah, that shit it wasn't really that big, but the whole reason why he was on that show was because of that. You know what I mean?
To have opinion.
Yeah, to have the counter opinion if it is.
Yeah, like some first take shit. Like some first take type.
Yeah, they manufacture this shit. So he brought an argument that could counter, you know what I mean, the other argument. That's it.
So what did he? But what did she say? I'm just saying, what is the? So she said something about, was she pretty by American standards? I hate that I just said that. I only said that because I'm in the conscious fucking community. By American standards, is she just pretty? Is she white?
Yeah, it was an ad to basically.
She's just a blonde white girl. I mean, she ain't bad. I mean, I guess to a white boy she might be bad, but she's just a blonde white girl. I mean, she looked like what she was talking about is like her body, the way she fit in the jeans. But then she was using it in 2 different ways. Like she was really using it like in 3 different ways. But the killer, the thing that hurt their feelings is the way she was when she used the genes as in genetics. So she was like, everybody wants my genes. Everybody likes my genes. They know I got the good genes and this, that, and that.
Illusion.
But really what she's saying is the Jordache jeans or whatever kind of jeans she had on was good jeans. And like, it was a jeans commercial. I mean, god damn. It's Jordache, bro. Leave it alone.
What it is, Brad, it's like a double entendre. So the genetics part of it, eugenics literally translates to good genes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's what they kind of, it's like making
it means a desirable trait. That's not what eugenics means.
No, I'm talking about the literal definition. The literal translation is good genes. If I can remember,
wanting a desirable trait.
No, I'm not talking about the definition. You know what? Let me source up because you're not gonna stop.
No, go ahead.
I don't got no cash on me, brother. Sorry, man.
I was laughing, Fetty, because you just said that I jump on small shit. I
mean, what's the big disparity between?
Just jumped on some small shit.
Yeah, like
it was ready to go. Like you ready to go in the middle of this.
Some huge disparity between good genes and desirable trait. Like there's a gulf between those two things. Like what was your point in jumping in with that?
No, you wasn't in here. We was already at it. So
he always on go in regards to those discussions. But I think for the people who they saying are getting butthurt about it, that's what they believe that she's alluding to. Like a principle of like a Nordic type of woman having superior genes. They believe that she's making an allusion to that.
But do they? No, let me ask you a question. You know what's funny about that Haskell is that
she wasn't doing that. She wasn't like the Nordic. She wasn't talking about like the Nordic gene.
Yeah,
she was talking about her gene.
She was going that deep. Yeah,
nigga went to the Nordic race.
Yeah, I think she's just an actress.
No.
I don't
remember again. I'm saying for the people who are taking offense to it.
Oh, yeah. That's
right.
That's what they jump.
They're right. They're taking it from that angle.
Okay. And they bringing up the historical context of what good genes meant in America.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that shit ain't important. It's not.
But I mean, it's evidence of American Eagle having black women. Like I was just at the mall the other day. They be having black women on the walls for advertising and marketing and shit like that. So it's like that's why I got kind of confused, or like people who willing to die on that hill regarding that American Eagle topic. I mean, it's like we can't get outraged over everything.
No disrespect. Y'all niggas still shop in the mall? That was a weird comment to me. That hit that.
Why? Yo, you do a lot. Look, I actually help deliver because I got a lot of. I have a lot of Venezuelan. drivers. I have a lot of Venezuelan drivers, and I actually take a lot of payrolls personally.
No. I'm saying, did you take that personal? I just asked a question.
No, I'm saying no. I'm saying like a nigga can't go to the mall.
No, that ain't what I said. I said, do y'all niggas? Man. Yeah.
You saying you a snob, Brass? Because you do be doing that a lot. Man, y'all niggas
I'm saying as we're all grown men.
Sit next to each other playing video games?
No. That's just technology. That shit fucked me up, by the way. I ain't sat next to a nigga and played a video game in like a decade. But that's something separate. 2 decades.
I ain't played a video game in a decade. That's why.
Yeah,
right. So please.
Yeah, exactly. We on the same page on 2 different lines. My question is, as grown men in here, do y'all still like be like, yo, I need a shirt and then go to the mall? That's what I'm asking. To go get it. No, right?
Yeah, I still do.
It depends on
what. But I'm an archaic kind of nigga though. Like I still look at the mall as like a chance to have a house. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Brad, some of the best work is at the mall, bro. You bugging.
And then the malls
y'all still getting work from the mall.
Yeah, me.
Yeah.
I'm single, nigga. Yeah, hell yeah. It's work everywhere.
They planning on building the biggest mall in North America out in Miami. but it's gonna have a lot more shit than your conventional mall though. I think y'all got one in Jersey, Brass. It's called the Dream Mall.
Don't go, bro. I live 10 minutes from that shit. You spend damn near $150 before you get in that motherfucker. You got to pay for parking. Then you got to pay a shuttle to take you to the fucking to the mall and shit. Don't do that. It's the worst. It's called the American Dream. This shit right outside Giants Stadium. It's the worst mall in America, bro.
I haven't been to a mall in at least 5 years. I'm a little shocked.
I just didn't know y'all still shop in malls. I buy
I don't.
online. If it ain't online, I can't stand to go shopping, bro. I cannot stand. I'll go to Marshall's, get some cheap shit, or go to Burlington with my wife to look at candles and soap and shit to waste time. But I ain't fucking. I haven't been to a mall probably since I was like in college. For real.
That's a little bit too much. I just haven't been in like.
Yeah, I'm just saying
years.
everything's online. What can you get in the mall you can't get online?
Every once in a while, I'll go to like a store. I go to no mall. I can go to Shoe Palace, but I'm not going to a mall. You know what I mean? Like, I don't.
Yeah, I'll go to the mall. I go to the mall to go to the movies. That's it. I ain't going to no. I'm maybe the movies. That's the extent of it. But no, that's a separate conversation.
I ain't been to the movies in years.
Oh yeah. Oh years. God.
I like watching.
What the fuck you need to go to the movies for? That's archaic.
No. I go to see because I like to see Sinners. I want to support. I know black movies you can't. This is the Afrocentric part, I guess. Some black movies I'll go and buy a ticket and won't even go in. But Sinners, I made sure that I saw it at least 3, because I want them to keep making black movies. So I will support black movies that like Wakanda Forever. I went and saw those. I want to make sure that they get that kind of support. But motherfucking and then superhero movies, I don't like watching them. I got a big ass TV at my house, but I still would rather watch that on a big screen. So like today, I'm going to go see Fantastic Four in a couple hours. So I'd rather have a movie. I'd rather see those kinds of movies on a screen, not just a TV.
Hey, are you ready to say that Sinners was overrated yet?
No.
Oh, you said you going.
Okay.
No.
You going to see Fantastic Four?
Yeah, my son don't got football practice this week, so we're gonna go see Fantastic Four. Then I'm gonna take him over to New York to matter of fact, I'm actually be out by you. I'm taking him to this barbecue place in Brooklyn that he likes, Fetty Sal, and I'm a dinosaur barbecue, and then we're gonna go to Connecticut tonight.
Oh yeah, I heard. Yeah, I heard of that. Yeah, I heard of that.
I already know Fantastic Four probably ain't that good.
Fantastic Four joint was all right. I saw it already. It's all right.
I like Galactus. That's one of my favorite. That's the kid in me.
Yeah, it's all right.
I was a big Silver Surfer fan.
They got that right.
So I was a big Silver Surfer fan. What y'all niggas on? Say it. What up?
Not too bad.
What's the deal? I be forgetting. Yeah. Hey, I defended. I hit you with a large defense today, bro. I was listening back to some of the videos. I see you be in the chat too. We cut you off an inordinate amount of times, bro. I hear you try to say something, and then motherfucker just start talking. I don't think niggas can hear you.
I was gonna say I don't think niggas be hearing them all the time, though, Brass.
Y'all don't watch Carnivorous Podcast, or Tribe Media. Y'all don't watch the shows. They're up. We're live right now, I think. But the fucking when you listen to it, we actually really got to stop cutting each other off because the shit don't sound good live at all. Also, be forgetting that it's 9 o'clock in the morning in California too.
Yep.
What's up, Sam?
Ain't shit for real.
We just got
posted up. Seeing what y'all was on.
Hey, what you think about an AI team for the fantasy league?
Shit, they'll probably win that bitch.
That shit rigged. That shit rigged.
You think that'd be a dumb idea though?
I mean, definitely want to have a user, but it should be interesting. I'll be trying to make a trade with that motherfucker.
Shit rigged, man.
What's up? What's
That
up with
shit
the
rigged.
Bro, I think that'd be us embracing technology. That'd be us embracing technology. What y'all niggas on?
Gotta go with human error.
Yeah, human error is important. What y'all on, bro? Everybody quiet today. There's a bunch of niggas in here.
I was just seeing what y'all talking about.
What pissed y'all off this weekend?
So this weekend, man, I was able to, well, at least I did a pretty good job of listening to some Naeem Akbar stuff, and I've been taking some notes. I'm consolidating clips. I think I'm gonna have to deal with them like one person at a time because it's too much to have to like to try to put all of them in one episode. But for real, I think it's really clear that they were speaking in a way that kind of funneled you into like the need to do something now, right? And typically like for that thing that now that it seems like they're suggesting, for the most part would have to do with forming like your own nation. It's that like that national not nationality, but like nationalism, right? So to me, like I don't see how you could accomplish those goals with any sort of urgency and get that done without violence, right? I don't see it. It doesn't like openly suggest this, but it almost as though it leaves no other option based on all the things they take off the table. Because if you be just idealistically consistent with distrust of white people and their institutions and all of that, that leaves out their schools, that leaves out their politics. That's already a contradiction because many of them were college educated people, but yet they'll speak against academics. But that would also leave you as like if you're following them ideologically, like you have nowhere to turn because they've they basically taken that stuff off the table. So any sort of ability that you would have to be like to give yourself this self-sustainability or this nationhood that they're trying to like suggest that you get. They kind of it's literally a Klan rally, and I hate that that's actually what it looks like, but it's a Klan rally, but black people is doing it. That's basically what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? Everything from renounce to kind of like just openly go against the government to just painting all white people with one brush to where they all have to be a part of the problem. All of that, man. Everything in between. It just like looking back at it, it just never gets better. I don't, because one of the things that was said somewhere in this conversation was somebody brought up redeemable qualities about this stuff, right? And looking back at it, looking at it a lot closer, and like taking all of the feelings out of it, it doesn't look redeemable. You know what I'm saying? It's like the only thing that's there in is that they're black people, they're African Americans, and they're struggling with racism. Like, don't get me wrong. I understand that there's a plight there, but like looking back at the response, like it's almost whatever you would want to say about it being justifiable, like it's just as unusable nonetheless. Like
you already know what they're gonna say, Logic. The times. It was the times. It was the times. You already know what the fucking bench is gonna be.
Yeah, but it's like the ultimate just I don't know how I want to say that, bro, but you definitely just a fan at that point. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not even a fan of what they said. You're not a fan of what they did. You're just a fan of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's where it starts to become like this is actually crazy. And for real, you know, someone else wound up saying like this is like disrespectful to the real people, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that was
Said
Sheffield
Breeze always
somebody said that.
he
Like
was,
this
he
is
was
to the real people that actually said or did shit and went to Capitol Hill and actually did shit in legislation and all that. We sitting up here talking about these niggas that was hearing voices and shit, talking just spitting racial rhetoric. And
that's why.
How many psychiatrists y'all know just do lectures, nigga?
That's why I said we be cutting.
Thurgood Marshall was down at the Congress at Capitol Hill. Meanwhile, Dr. Ben and them couldn't even go to the library. The white folks wouldn't let Dr. Ben and them go to the library and get a library card. See how wild that shit is?
No, that's why I said we be cutting
Thurgood Marshall born, and when was Dr. Ben born?
Library card.
No, that's why. No, but Corey, that's why I said we be cutting Said Breeze off because. And when Reggie was there, you remember this point, said when motherfucking I read all that list of names and they just blew past that fucking list. You read a long list of names. And it was like these is all people that grew up in the same time you said that these motherfuckers couldn't be successful. And Said was trying to get them to go back to it. Like they was talking and Said was like, nah, go back to that list of names. And then the conversation moved because niggas was over talking, but that's a key point, bro.
I remember all who were growing up in that they were doing anything in that same time frame and wasn't on that pseudo shit. So like, what's the excuse?
There isn't one.
Started naming James Baldwin, all these people. I'm like, yeah, like we just skipping over them. Like motherfuckers had to be pseudo. Like no, there's plenty of motherfuckers did that shit proper and was fighting that shit, with real academic work. James Baldwin went on those pseudo shit. I got his books right here.
Niggas can't get past. And like I said, I've come to realize
he was gay.
Motherfuckers don't crazy. Yeah, motherfuckers don't hate pseudos, bro. Motherfuckers don't kill them. They just hate the ones that they don't like. You don't want to face. I guess that would be the danger in calling out. What they say that twig and you looking at the twig in my eye, forget the branch in yours. Like when you start calling people that shit and attacking people, you fuck around and forget the niggas that you look up to, your heroes, the niggas that you base your worldview and your identity on. They did some wild shit too. You gotta address that shit. I told you I can accept it if it was just for money. If you say that he did that for money, and cool. Naeem Akbar himself, he had some moments, but even ChatGPT, I think when we looked it up, or didn't we discuss Naeem Akbar? And we came. What conclusion did we come to? Not ChatGPT. I'm talking about what conclusion did we come to?
I think that they all were in the racist bag, and then there was another category that I don't remember that you were talking about. It was either it was racist and something else. I don't remember. Scamming, I think.
Racist, pseudo, or both.
Racist, pseudo, or both.
Or neither. Yeah. I hope I put
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So,
I don't think neither was not.
You say he's scamming? Yeah, I think it's tough to say he's scamming. I mean, pseudo. I think it's tough.
Why? You know what's crazy, Logic? You made an argument and you be bullshitting about the show, but I understand why you bullshitting about the show because I make content too. And I know sometimes a topic is so daunting and so large that you kind of be like, man, if I start this shit, this is gonna be a while. Like I gotta kind of show some whatever. So I get it. But by academic standards, and I think for me, pseudo, it goes into that. When you claim to be a scholar, or you claim to be an educator, or you claim to be an academic, then I gotta hold you to more of a standard than just a nigga on the street corner yelling. So if you're a scholar or you're an academic, then if you're doing all this writing with no fucking rigor at all, then what wouldn't that be what he ends up?
Let me say something right quick, because this, and maybe I'm just speaking with looking at it with fresh eyes again. I try to incorporate shit that I pick up along the way. One thing I learned about these people, at least some of them in academia, some of them are like pretty well decorated. I don't know what to do with that.
What do you mean?
I don't know what to do with it.
Describe well decorated. What does that mean?
Like I actually was watching something about. I was watching another one on Naeem Akbar, and the person who was like speaking was listing a bunch of credentials that he had from, these were regular colleges. I wasn't like jotting them down, but it was a bunch of them. You know what I'm saying? He had been receiving like a bunch of awards from colleges for doing whatever type of work he was doing, and it wasn't just like no bullshit, community colleges from what I remember. So I don't really know what to do with that. And I'll sit here and call him completely pseudo in like California college and get this nigga an award. I'm not so sure what to do with that. So, do I think that he, went off the page on purpose, knowing that there was no evidence behind it? Yeah, he definitely did that. 100%. 100%. Now, also, I guess is that somewhere in his abilities now as a credentialed person on said subject? I guess so. I guess that's not the only thing that just makes you a kook. You know what I'm saying? That you might
when
say.
You say,
I don't know. It's somewhere. I think it's somewhere in the middle of there, Brad.
What if I told you could be well decorated? I think one thing we never talk about when we talking about these figures is we don't talk about the fact of culture. That's why when I say about what I say about Frances Cress Welsing, understand what I mean by she is a cultural figure. She's a historical figure. It's just when she goes into the academics is where the scrutiny is. So you can most certainly be well decorated for being a figure, a cultural figure, an historical, I won't say icon, but somebody recognized, for their cultural contribution. But the reason why I stay academics is because if you got the PhD and you're not, when you're making racist statements and speeches and writings, and then you got the PhD and you claim to be trying to fix something or work on something, and you don't put shit for peer review, then you're just a PhD that's talking. Like when they go get PhDs in these conversations, right? Even if they don't submit shit for peer review, imagine you doing a Black Egypt Conversation Watch. And hold on, I gotta take this call.
Yeah, I don't think there's any peer review in psychiatry. I don't think it's like anthropology or biology or something where you write a paper on where you espouse certain ideas or certain theories, and then you have a body that reviews it. Unless I could be mistaken.
Isn't it considered a soft science? I think it's a soft science.
Yeah. Me, Brass, and Sosa had that war of words in the Discord where we were explaining to him that it's a soft science.
Yeah.
And then we were going into the definition of what soft science is and blah blah blah. And eventually Brass relented on it. He eventually saw our perspective that yes, it is a soft science. So yeah.
He's a psychologist. They do have,
but they have a journal for psychiatry.
Yeah, so they do have peer review in psychology. He's a psychologist.
Who?
Okay.
They have it for both psychiatry and
Naeem Akbar, I relented
okay.
because you and Sosa was trying to jump me. But in soft sciences, there's definitely peer review. They have journals, and just like, I mean, it's more about it's a little different, but it's not like the hard sciences. Yeah, the hard sciences. Remember, it's just phenomena that they're looking at.
Psychiatrists,
So it
they
ain't a
just
whole
reviewing
bunch
like
of
your manuscripts and shit like that. Like it ain't really like no testable results, but
Yeah,
they review your
that's
manuscript.
that's the main point that I was trying to drive home. That it's not like if you came up with a theory as to why, let's say, for example, why men are less sexually discriminatory than women, for example, right? And you could cite like historical examples of men of means having multiple wives, or having harems, and blah 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 blah. And then you can craft a theory around that based on history, incorporate some biology into it. Like for instance, a man being able to impregnate multiple women while a woman can only blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? But there's nothing there where you can test it and say yay or nay.
And I'm just saying that you're wrong. You know, I don't want to argue with you on this, Haskell. We already did this. I back. The only reason I backed down is we got tired of talking to you and Sosa. I'm still right about it. I just don't feel like.
Said you looked into it more and realized that.
No. I looked into it. Hold on. I looked into it. First, you and Sosa weren't saying the same thing. So I was trying. I got tired of trying to say his point. If you pay attention to the points that he was making, Sosa was saying he was saying that I was using semantics, but I was making a sentence. I was just using English. Both soft. Okay, I'm gonna just say pause for 10 minutes. I'm about to say some wild shit. So both soft and hard sciences both use peer review, and they both rely on theory.
Yeah.
The difference is just
they both got clinical aspects.
The difference is just what they're doing. One is phenomena where it's not a lot of variables, and the other is like human variables. So the tools that they use are different than what you would look at. So the only thing you look at with a theory is logic. It's not and evidence, and then you got to be able to test it and make it open to scrutiny.
They would have to test these meds. I would think there would be something under review for that, like for treatment. Right. You know, see if they see mental disorders or mental illnesses, like, and they develop in treatments. You would need to test that.
So I understood your point. I understood what you meant. I just meant I just understand. If you're testing for human variables, it's a lot different than looking at germs under a microscope. So it's different tools, but they got tools just the same. It's just not thermometers. You got surveys and questionnaires, and the reason why I know it, I was going to tell you to look up the there's a voting theory I was going to tell you to look up, because they do. That's where you see like the focus groups and the stats and case studies and shit like that. That's soft science. That's what we use.
Right.
So like if we use a campaign,
it still comes down to ultimately it's still subjective, right? Even though you have a body of people and you have standards, agreed upon standards, it's still subjective for the most part, as opposed to, let's say, the law of gravity, right? An object falls at 9 feet per second, or whatever it is. Like you don't need a human being to sign off on that. Like that's real phenomena. It happens in real time, and it is what it is. Like literally, the entire world could say that that's wrong, and you can demonstrate it. It's completely objective. You know what I'm saying? You could objectively demonstrate it.
But subjectivity doesn't mean it's not science, though. It doesn't mean it's not.
I agree. I agree. Remember, the argument isn't whether it's science or not science. It's just making a demarcation between a hard science and a soft science.
Yeah, I don't have no problem with that.
Yeah, that's no issue.
That's not a.
The reason I think the peer review and all that got brought up around Frances Cress Welsing is because, you know, her framework that she put forth wouldn't fall into like something you could peer review, but that doesn't mean people in that field don't submit peer review work. So that's just her work. But her field, they do have peer review. There's a British journal for psychiatry. There's all type of journals.
Yeah, and
So
even
somebody has
involving,
to review that process to submit it for publication.
even if involving humans, like that's where they get all the political theories from. Most of the shit y'all see by the time it makes the TV, these are case studies and shit like that, but they use triangulation. So you might say, well, these surveys, these are people involved, so you might not trust it. Okay, well, that's why they do statistics, they do case studies, they do a bunch of different things, triangulate it all, cross-check the whole shit to get some level of science within the subjectivity, and then they take that and get it peer-reviewed with people that have done the same studies or similar studies in other areas of soft science, or the same political science will use it in a different study, and then they cross-check, and then that's how they come out with like a something that they can measure in the statistic, or like some kind of operational.
You know they do double
No, I got
blind,
you.
double and triple blind studies in soft
Yeah.
science.
Yeah, triple blind, stuff like that. It's usually mostly blind, yeah, and that shit.
So that's
So
what I
No,
was trying to tell
I'm with
Sosa.
I'm
Sosa
with
was
all
trying to
I'm
tell
with all
me,
that.
yeah, Sosa was trying to say that the results ain't scientific, and that's where
when
we
you
just
giving out
I
stuff, when you
wasn't
prescribe
going.
a
I was never
psyche,
going to
and
agree to that.
you gotta,
Nah,
you
he
know what I'm
wasn't.
saying?
He was. I
Somebody
think
has
you
to
misunderstood him,
run
Brass. He
clinical
wasn't
trials
saying
on
that.
that shit.
Matter of fact, happy birthday, Sosa and Stu Pease. Too. But
I think you
no, but
I think you misunderstood him, Sosa. He wasn't. I mean, Brass. He
Brad.
wasn't saying that.
Okay. My point with Naeem Akbar and that good guy, I keep saying that good guy, Haskell. I appreciate you if you would respond too when I say this to Logic. My issue with Naeem Akbar is the same issue I would have with all of them. Is he does the same thing that they do. And the funny thing about him is he critiques them too, but he does the same thing. He did the same thing with Europeans. Europeans are all this. Black people are, I think he said all black people are communal or some shit like that. I'm gonna look this up. I'm looking through my what's the name? But yeah, European psychology, which is individualistic, materialistic, and competitive, cannot effectively deal with the spiritual and communal values of African people. That's just, I don't understand the need to diagnose whole races all the time in those conversations back then. But I guess they were trying to do something. I guess they're trying to do something. But the issue is, once you become a academic and you call yourself an academic and you say, I'm a PhD in psychology, I want to figure out why there's racism, or why do the white this, that, and the other. As a PhD, you would already know that we're 99% the same. So when you start talking about white and black, you know that that's a social construct. You know that. So when you try to assign these things to specific races versus having a human race conversation, it gets a little crazy. Then when you do that as a PhD with no peer review, no academic rigor at all, you're no different than the people you critiquing. I don't take a lot of these motherfuckers on YouTube serious. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers that said they were scientists.
Hey, Brad,
I don't believe none of these niggas.
Did you look into the 4 classifications that he made for black people regarding mental disorders? That's dangerous within itself.
Well, no, I'm gonna look it up. No, I didn't see it. No.
Yeah, he had 4
Brad,
categories.
So we don't ascribe any kind of like viability to the idea of like group personality. So like, for example, the Japanese in their culture, it's pretty much formalized in their culture the idea of being congenial, like to the umpteenth degree. You know what I'm saying? And it's reinforced continually in their culture. Mm-hmm. And many people who go to Japan, they'll tell you, like, compared to their other experiences, the Japanese make it a point to be courteous and hospitable, and or let me try to think of another people group that has a particular trait that's like really pronounced in that culture, like I'm trying to think of a culture that's like known for being like timid or kind of shy or whatever. You don't buy into that any at all?
No, because when you start doing group personalities, I think it could be a real thing. It's just when you start, the one thing I noticed with all of these people is they make it biological though. Like they make it a thing that's
well, they'll add a
what you're talking
biological.
about is culture.
Yeah,
You're talking
but that's
about like
what
a cultural environment. They make it biological though. It ain't a
There are some
biological thing.
theories.
It's culture.
There are some theories even in 2025 that incorporates culture and genes
and biology.
No question.
It's called the co-evolution of genes and culture, and even you
Right.
can see that through like and like you said, we're not trying to designate all people of that population to have the same thing, but again, if you was to apply a bell curve or statistical model showing overlap, it's not even talking about y'all think
I
bell
didn't know.
curves.
Don't say y'all, bro.
Keep going.
Laughed at you to make you do what you just did, bro. He just laughed at you.
I got you.
We just having a little
I'm just
fun,
saying,
bro.
like, whenever a scientist or geneticist is making that argument, they're not saying that all people of a specific population is that. They're saying that you may find something in higher frequencies, and like he is right. Like when you look at
Stay right there, Fetty. Stay right there, Fetty. Before you go to the next point. But science, see, I want to, because we're using words, right? In these conversations, I've learned there's certain words we got to watch. Scientists, the scientists you talking about, was there testing done? Was there some form of peer review done in the statement that they made about culture, environment, and genetics? Did they do some kind of testing where they put it for other people to review it? Was it experiments done? Was it falsifiability? Anything in the scientists you're talking about?
No, I don't think they put forth nothing like that.
Because if they did that, then we're not talking
I mean,
about barring them.
I believe they did because
gotta keep in mind, bro, like these people were speaking to, like, when we talking about culture, we got to remember, like, there is some sort of radical thinking amongst the Black community that these folks were speaking to. You know what I mean? Like how else were they keep getting, speaking events, seminars, or whatnot? You know what I mean? Like people were, there were some people who were open to receiving this radical point of view towards, the people that, they felt like were oppressing them, which is why I kept leaning on that MLK quote, why he said Black supremacy is dangerous. He said that in 67. It's before Cress Wellston. Like, that means that there was already a growing thing amongst the Black community that we were like, yo, fuck this white motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a growing thing already that he was speaking to. He wouldn't have made that statement just out of thin air. And then you can see the various people that we've been talking about that came along after that were speaking to the same thing. So, I think that's something that they were doing as well.
Did Fetty fall off? Because I really liked where he was going, because I really wanted to ask him, within the context of what he knows about the bell curve, what does he make of this idea, right, that's been posited by a few people in regards to the nature, right, of Europeans, at least what we've observed historically over the last, I don't know, 2-3 millennia or 2 millennia or whatever the case may be. And how much stock does he put into this idea that Europe, right, specifically that area of the world, especially in certain times like the Ice Age, the inability to grow the scarcity of food, the harsh environment, the coldness that developed, obviously if resources are scarce, right, that's gonna increase competition, right, just by necessity. Right.
I heard even horses. If you're a culture that had horses, you were prone to like raids and different shit like that. So like, I don't know.
Or like a lot of
Malcolm Gladwell speaks on that. I don't know if that's true though, but
or like a lot of agriculture is difficult in those areas. Like, I think I got to get brushed up on it, but they said like for a lot of them areas like you can only really grow like potatoes, and you know what I'm saying? Like there's something to that. Would you agree, Brass? Like in terms of if a group is incubated in that environment, it's going to have
different environmental challenges may present
but
different strategies.
prefacing it with Haskell, you're giving all these different outliers versus like these people were diagnosing an entire race of people, just period. Whether you grew up from a culture that grew up in the cold places like that, like they were doing that shit to no matter where you grew up, like or who your people came from.
No. I'm saying, well, they're talking about Caucasians. You know what I'm saying? And that's like where Caucasians were. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like their heartland.
Motherfuckers and shit.
Nah, I'm all bet like Northwest Europe, Scandinavia. That's like the heartland of the people who we call Caucasians today,
right?
Or who they were referring to when they say Caucasians. You know what I'm saying?
What's your question?
Hunter-gatherers.
Right, but I'm saying
trying
though,
to say these people got these in, if I'm not mistaken, kind of like an inherent behavior coming from like these different places or cultures that
they said, to be fair, in 2025, like that's why the Francis Cresswell and the whole Iceman inheritance conversation is a little tricky because it is pseudo as fuck. But you got credited scholars even from Cambridge, like talking about biogeographic ancestries, and they present shit like cold winter theories because like in the methodology you throw everything at the table, right? You know what I'm saying? Like even though you may disagree with it, you still have to substantially prove that this thing is false. So they talked about how like even some scientists right now still look into the whole cold winters theory of not mostly like what they was talking about the Iceman inheritance thing, and they're not saying that all white people are like this, but they're saying that you may see varying degrees of based off again isolated populations and environment, and due to coldness or biomes, tropical climates, those different groups of people may have had to apply different strategies to survive in those climates, and as a result, you ultimately have to pass down those traits for your future, generations to master this same environment, which brings culture, religion, and all of that. So it's an interesting convo. I just wish we could have it without, going down the whole, talk about this is dangerous. I think now in 2025, you can have these type of convos and use new data, even though it's a little fringe and it has to be replicated more based off a bigger sample size, but they already seeing shit that they can replicate. It's just about adding more to the data set. But I think we can have a good conversation based on that and not being racist or anything, because it is interesting.
But the issue in the conversation this is why we gotta use our words. So the issue in the conversation is there are actual studies about how Europeans were affected by those environments and the things that they did. The challenge is when you start talking about one group is better or one group is defective because of those adaptations they made to those environments. So to believe that they made adaptations to the environment, okay, but then once you make it racial,
how about one group is more aggressive or obsessed with hierarchy?
I don't agree
what you
with
can't do. What you can't do.
You don't got lions in Africa. Ain't shit in Africa trying to kill people no more.
There was stresses. There was environmental stresses in Africa. Every ecology had its own set of issues. You feel me? Now, biologically, you can look at it and say the short stocky bodies, was more prevalent because it helped you preserve heat better. You could talk about how the sweat runs off of the hair, and how our curlier hair keeps sweat, keeps more moisture so you can cool off. You dig what I'm saying? Those type of things, you could talk about how malaria, you dig what I'm saying? How you develop certain things to fight malaria from drinking sitting water, because you ain't always had running water and the pollution. You dig what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
So for you, Chef, so for you, there's 0% correlation between environment and
social. No,
like
because social, you learn those things. You're talking about social behaviors, how human
that's what
beings
I'm saying.
interact with each other. No, I think that's social. All right, I'm going back
So you don't think groups of people like where food is scarce versus where food is plentiful? Yeah, hear me out. I'm saying where food is scarce versus food is plentiful, right? You don't think there'll be a disparity in the group personality of those, populations? There's nothing to that whatsoever.
Not genetically. I think they'll develop social systems that accommodate for that. You dig what I'm saying? The way they interact with each other, how they interact with other communities. I think that's more social. You dig what I'm saying? I don't think that's genetic. I'm going back on me.
No, I mean, yeah, y'all talking about environmental stuff. They've done the studies. The issue is when you turn it into white people do this because of that. Like that's not what they did in that environment is the issue. Like you brought up China, right? Most people don't understand China, but I know Japan.
Yeah.
But but being that way over there is rewarded.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're overly clean, or when you keep your shit right, or you're very polite, and you're this, that, and the other.
They still operating off Confucius. They have a cultural
right, like continuity. Like So when you say that one space is this because of this, well, in their environment, it doesn't pay. Like, listen, people think Americans is crazy, but shit, when you put free speech in the Constitution, you're gonna get a lot of wild shit. Look at our Discord. People think our Discord is crazy, but in our Discord, we try our best to let motherfuckers have as much free speech as possible. And even that shit goes off the rails, right? I think we're closer to America than any other Discord where it's only black people here, but we're working on it.
That's a perfect example you brought up. The ugly American trope that you'll hear all over the
speech. You can say whatever you want.
No, I'm saying when other cultures come in contact with Americans, particularly when they travel and stuff, you'll hear a common refrain where many different cultures who come in contact with Americans say Americans have like this kind of general type of, this kind of arrogance about that a lot of Americans don't even realize.
Yeah, but we've been number one for so long. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. America is looked at as the superpower. We take that on when we leave.
Right.
We hear remember when we watch TV, but that's not biological. That's not like a genetic. It's not in our genes, though.
No. I'm not making a genetic argument. I'm saying because I'm mainly talking about what was presented in the Iceman Inheritance and some of the things that John Henry Clarke acceded to, right? And from what I remember from the book, I'm halfway through. There isn't much made of genetics that I've read so far where they try to connect the two. Most of what I've seen is historical based and culture based. That's like the two main things. You know what I'm saying? So from that standpoint, I just kind of want to know where the ledge is, like, because personally, in my opinion, there's something to it. Now, at what point do you jump the shark, so to speak?
Because when you start saying, even if they don't talk about the genetics much, the Iceman Inheritance of John Henry Clarke is explaining that whatever happened historically, culturally, they talk about that. But then when you start taking those traits as being passed down through generations to explain the white supremacy that they were dealing with at the time and what we're dealing with in 2025, adaptation and inherent behavior are two different things. You're confused. It's not you, but he's confusing them. You can adapt, you can respond to your environment where you at. And there's scientific studies on that, Hofstede and stuff like that. You can look that shit up. But when you start saying that the traits become genetic, like culture moves way faster than evolution. So you can't make it a genetic. Even if you only say it one time, you actually nullify your book. If you're just talking about what happened then, cool. But the title is Iceman Inheritance.
But I ain't gonna lie
Meaning
to
you
you.
inherited you inherited the traits that they had during that time, even if they were correct. You can't then suppose that to say, well, they became genes that inherited to why they are where they are today. You can't do that. Like that's why you can't peer review that kind of shit, because it doesn't work.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
I don't.
Once you switch it to genes, it fucks it up.
I don't know if
Yeah, it's
Iceman
almost like
inherit.
you don't got to be taught racism at that point. They already got it. Like that's wild as hell. Like you got to teach them niggas that shit. Kids don't just start out that way.
Toddlers don't
Because
lynch other toddlers in preschool. Like they don't even think in those terms. When a black baby sees a white baby, they just see another baby. I would assume they don't see like.
I mean,
They
they're not
don't
competing.
learn.
They're not competing for resources, though. You know, they haven't reached that level of development yet, and everything is taken care of for them by adults.
So are you
You know what
trying
I'm
to?
saying?
Okay, before you go further, I just want to pin you down to a stance. I want to see if you're being serious. Are you saying that the traits that they had became genetics and then were passed down through time?
I don't know. I
has to be
haven't.
carried out.
I don't think I'm educated enough to make that kind of claim. What I
The
can say
thing that
though
we
is
gotta look
The
over all the time.
the behavior is
My bad,
like
Axel, real
prevalent.
quick. I'm gonna mute back out.
All right, go
But
ahead.
I just want to say, my bad, though, Happy. But I just want to say, we look over a lot of the times mirror neurons, right? There's a reason why when I walk just like my daddy. Like when people see me from a distance, they know it's me because I walk just like my daddy, right? They like it's certain things that I do that's just like my grandfather. Certain things that I do that's just like my mom. You know what I'm saying? Not just because I've been around them. Like this is a mirror neuron. This is like the way my brain functions, and this is genetically passed down. Those mirror neurons are passed down from parent to parent. You see what I'm saying? So even behaviors wind up over time being genetic. So just to throw that a little bit out there to y'all. I ain't saying one way or another. I just want to make
see what I will say though.
Hold on. Let me address that though. But there's no racial difference in mirror neurons though. That's now I'm gonna go back to the fact that we're 99% the same, 99.9% the same. So there's no even if
But
we're
if you
bringing
replace
in mirror
race with
neurons.
ancestral populations, I think take race out of it. I think if you just say isolated populations that underwent different evolutionary adaptations. In 2025, they can't really detect it, but there is a possibility in the future because again, scientists and geneticists like David Wright from Harvard keeps saying as time goes on and the tools get improved and more data gets submitted, there's going to be differences within ancestral populations, bro. It just is what it is, bro.
Yeah, but
and it's
hold
not,
on. But
Yeah, but you gotta go far
let's
back.
not skip. Yeah. And let's not skip
but not,
regular
but my
base.
bad.
Hold
This last thing I'm
on,
gonna say,
wait.
applying racial rhetoric is dangerous because, like, scientifically, even neuroscientists can't even pinpoint a certain traits directly to one certain thing. It's like a complex thing. But go ahead, my bad.
But the danger in it is, and this is why we gotta focus on certain words though. There's no racial difference in mirror neuron function. None. There's no evidence of it. And I'm sure people smarter than us, more qualified than us, have looked at it. That's like mirror neurons is like social shit. It's like if you were
human
to
behavior.
use the first time I heard mirror neurons was with what's that kid? And it's funny, I think he's probably the most psychological story in the United States if you want to study these trap niggas. These not trap. What's that music Von and them was making? What's the music Von and them was making? Drill niggas.
Drill.
It's a kid named Yummy Sandifer in Chicago.
Yeah, I remember Yummy, Robert Sandoval.
Right.
Yeah.
So when they talk about him, they use him as like the baseline of the thinking for these kids that's making drill music. So they were talking about how he grew up, how he lacked empathy.
Yeah, 12 years
You know what I'm
old.
saying? Yeah, like as kids in Chicago on bikes, like I'm in the Midwest on a bike going to the park to play basketball. This kid, same age, is in Chicago with a fucking Mac 11
grown men
looking for niggas to kill people and then doing it all over again every night at like 11, 12 years old. So these are, could you say he had less empathy based on how he grew up? Yes, but you can't flip that to race. You can't, I mean, you can't do that. And then you can't say if he had a child that it would then go down to his son with no learned behavior. It would just automatically pass down.
Yeah, that's not how mirror neurons work.
Right.
Mirror neurons don't work and they don't affect those types of behaviors.
motor skills and
like
shit.
in that kind of way, like an immediate behavior. A mirror neuron is, like I said, a behavior like the way you walk.
Yeah, motor skill, motor system.
The way you when you sit down, that was passed down to you. The way you take your first step, the way you look, the way you squint your eye in the sun and shit like that, all those different behaviors was passed down to you. And you look just like your daddy when you do it.
Yeah, no problem.
See, that's how they can tell you it was you when you was across the field, Brad, because they know it's you because you walk just like your daddy. Those are the type of behaviors. Not somebody that got up and killed.
And that's what I was going to say, Corey. That's why it actually defeats Bradley's point. It actually goes against what Bradley.
Isn't that like a recent discovery? Like in the mid 2000s, they discovered the mirror neuron shit. Like I think that's pretty recent, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know. I've been right now. We're way outside. I'm already outside my pay grade, but I think the once we start talking about program versus some kind of racial programming versus some kind of response to culture, and I think that's key when you pay attention to how fast culture moves versus evolution. So it's like, and then on top of that, these niggas was just not qualified. They weren't qualified to have the conversation. They're not, a lot of it is psychiatrists playing geneticists, playing biologists. The nigga Michael Bradley, and I'm staying on this point for a reason. He was telling people he won a Nobel Peace Prize, bro. Like, what are we doing? Like, he's not somebody. We could start with the Hofstede. There's a bunch of studies about this shit, but there's zero evidence of any kind of inheritance of anything. So that's why I was asking you that question, Haskell. If you believe that traits can become genetics that are passed down to people, then yeah. But I don't think you believe that. And I've heard you say that humans are 99.9% the same. So anytime that we discuss race, I don't do the social construct because I think it's overused, even if it's a fact, even if it's true. But if we're all 99.9% the same, even if that 0.1% is a fucking chimp and this, that, and the other, then black and white, you still got to remove black and white out of it. You'd have to be diagnosing the human race, and the human race don't work like that.
Yeah, I would eliminate race altogether when having these conversations and just go to isolated ancestral populations to make it because when you give that distinction, that makes all the difference in a conversation like this. Because most people who, abide by the whole Black Egypt thing and all of that, their whole idea of race and all of that is different from what the scientists are saying that talks about these type of topics. So I agree, dealing with race and biology is problematic. So you just gotta go with what the modern scholars are saying to identify certain groups that were isolated, and you can see certain differences. Even though all groups share the same qualities, you may see certain traits at a higher frequency than other groups. That's why I brought up the Asian flush shit, dealing with it was like 30 to 50% Asians when they drink alcohol, that shit fuck them up. Not that other groups don't, but in their population based
they can't metabolize alcohol.
Right. So
it ain't the same with Native Americans.
Say that they are the only
Native Americans got that.
Yeah, but they have it at the highest frequencies within their ancestral group. Yeah, all groups may have it at a certain frequency, but when you look at ancestral populations and break it down like that, you're able to step back and say, you know what? take the racial rhetoric out of it that was going on around during Francis Cress Welsing time and all of that. This is new information, and I kind of think it's cool. You know what I mean? Looking up different, because I want to look at, in particular, West African history and how, like, you know, the whole sickle cell, and the more that information becomes more concrete, when more samples are submitted, you're gonna see differences, boy. And I ain't even talking about like intelligence or nothing like that. I'm just talking about shit. I'm talking about behavioral genetics, certain traits dealing with, you know, like Hathaway was talking about. I don't know if I'm gonna go that deep into it, dealing with people who docile and shit like that. But you can see certain shit, you know what I mean? So we shouldn't be afraid of it.
But like, even I'm looking this shit up now. It's interesting. But what we're talking about, when you're talking about like aggression, intelligence, empathy, and risk taking, that ain't even one gene.
Right.
That's like hundreds of thousands of fucking genes that you would have to, in order. So can't, like, there's an Allen's rule I'm reading right now. Traits can become genetic and be passed down, but only under specific evolutionary conditions, and not in the way racial essentialists or pseudo-theorists claim. Traits can become genetic. Allen, like East Africans in dry regions evolve long, lean limbs, which are partly genetic and help regulate heat. So yes, environment can write into the genome over time. But
and
where
that's
they
why
get
they
it
thrive
wrong,
in the Olympics and long distance
right?
running.
But where they get it wrong is
when they start dealing with behavioral genetics is where it kind of gets murky.
Right. That's the it's the complex traits, behaviors, and personalities, because it's not controlled by one gene. It's hundreds
tough
of
to calculate
thousands.
all of that, right?
And the thing is, it's shaped by social upbringing, nutrition, culture, stress, trauma. Now, here's the thing: even if y'all can respond, even if like a learned behavior is whatever, even if a learned behavior becomes inheritable, once the stressor leaves, like once it's not cold and resources aren't scarce and all of that, it wouldn't be something that would be continuously, you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be continuously passed down, because at that point the stressor is gone. That's a learned, but it would be, that's a personality or behavior.
Hey, can I read something real quick from John Henry Clark's forward here?
Yeah, you can
Let me know what
you can read something. Passed down just because now we got some money now, right? Like it's still gonna be generations of those mirror neurons passed down, just because there was generations of mirror neurons passed down to this generation, right? So just because this generation wind up finding some food in a warm climate, don't necessarily mean they don't still pass down those same mirror neurons.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right, so here he takes a couple pot shots first, right? Then he goes into things that are more relevant to our discussion. So he says here, Europeans were by no means the pioneers of human civilization. Half a man's recorded history had passed before anyone in Europe could read or write. The priests of Egypt began to keep written records between 4000 and 3000 BC, but more than 2000 years later, the poems of Homer were still being circulated in the Greek city-states by word of mouth. Shortly after 3000 BC, while the pharaohs were building the first pyramids, Europeans were creating nothing more distinguished than huge garbage heaps. Ironically, the pyramids
tough statement. God dang.
Ironically, the pyramids, they still endure and are known to archaeologists as kitchen middens. Oh, it says ironically, like the pyramids, they still endure. So those garbage heaps apparently still existed at the time of the writing of this book, and are known to archaeologists as kitchen middens. At the time when the Babylonian king Hammurabi, around 2000 BC, caused the laws of a complex society to be carved on stone, the most advanced Europeans were people like the Swiss lake dwellers, simple agriculturalists who lived in shelters built over the water to protect themselves from beasts and men. In a word, until after 2000 BC, Europe was in the Neolithic or New Stone Age. This was in truth a great age in man's history, the age in which men learned to make and use sharp tools, weave cloth, build living quarters, domesticate animals, plant seeds, harvest crops, and sense the returning cycles of the months and years. But the Near East, Egypt, the Euphrates, and the Tigris Valley, the island of Crete, and the shores of the Aegean Sea, which belong more to Asia than to Europe, had reached and passed the Neolithic 2,000 years before Europe. When Europe finally got themselves together and created the semblance of what could be referred to as a state or a nation, they soon made a glaring discovery. Europe could not furnish them with enough food to properly feed them or enough material to properly clothe them. They began to look with covetous eyes at the more developed parts of the world. Soon they would find a rationale for their initial military aggression under the young Macedonian Greek known in history as Alexander the Great. He would invade North Africa in the year 332 BC, following the invasions from Western Asia by the Assyrians in 666 BC and the Iranians in 550 BC. What y'all think of that?
I don't get the reference. I understand kitchen mittens. Go ahead, Logic. If you get it, you can go. I don't get that.
I don't get it at all. Once he said the large garbage heaps, I tuned it out. This supposed to be a historian. I gotta fall somewhere in the conundrum of I'm battling now. How do I start calling them super intelligent? You know what I'm saying?
So you think the garbage
it becomes a struggle.
So wait, Logic, you think the bit that he said about the garbage heaps, you think that's ahistorical? It didn't happen?
No, it didn't happen.
All right. I mean, we could look it up. Go ahead though.
Bro, you got the aqueduct for one. Right? The aqueduct is definitely not no trash heap. So you can see you can absolutely see human innovation right there in early Europe or whatever you would call that period time for them. But that's well before the Renaissance. That was
that's not in the remember the time period. The time period he speaks
that's
about
not what
the garbage.
he's talking about either, though.
Yeah, the time period Logic he's talking about with the garbage heaps was around the 3rd millennium BCE.
But he's not talking about literal garbage heaps, though. He's not talking about. He's talking about the racist theories they use to justify white supremacy. So the garbage heaps is he says history is being written from the garbage heaps of Western civilization, meaning the lies of history were pulled from the garbage heaps of racist anthropology and white supremacist ideology. So he's not
Bress,
talking
but what
about
what I read he's talking about literal garbage heaps. He may have made a different statement that's more of a you know what I'm saying?
That's definitely what I got out of it. He's trying to say because he's got another quote where he say white people ain't never they didn't even have a shoes or a house with a window in it like before black people.
Oh yeah, he playing the dangerous game.
How he paints white people. So it's consistent with that type of rhetoric.
Well, it's consistent with the fact that he's racist. Even if it's racial essentialism or it's reverse racism, it just sounds right in line when we're saying that he's racist, or when he has some racist shit with him.
But are those historically true? Because what's the name brought up the aqueducts, right? But the aqueducts was right around the formation of the Roman state, I believe, is 30 BC, somewhere around there. I know they said that's the official formation of the state, right? Of course, there was prehistory where they had something akin to what we would call civilization even before that, right? But the aqueducts are far later than the date that he referenced for the quote unquote garbage heaps. The garbage heaps he was referring to was around the 3rd millennium BC. You know what I'm saying? So that's way before any aqueduct. So he's saying in particular times, this is where Europe's development was at this particular time. Now that could be verified. You know what I'm saying? That could be falsified. We could look in the historical record and say, okay.
You're talking about the period of the Macedonian Greek